Well, Vesalius in fact, wrote his first edition in 1543. He seems to have revised it, probably by the year 1552. But it's not published as a second revised edition to 1555. And that's where we thought he'd stopped. But recently, we've discovered his notes for a never published third edition, which is just astounding. This is something that we never knew, we never even imagined was going to happen. In November 2010, I received an email from a person I'd never heard of, inviting me to publish what he thought was the annotations for Vesalius. And I wrote back very politely, saying, well, I wasn't quite sure that that was what he had, but if he'd let me know in 3 weeks, I would see what I could do. So I didn't actually discover them. It was the owner of the book who had seen certain things in it that suggested to him that it was Vesalius. And he had compared the handwriting of Vesalius' letters with what he had in the book. But when I received the disc with the pictures, it became immediately obvious, because there were changes that only the author would have made. And at the end of the book, we have passages in which Vesalius refers to himself as I. So at one point he says, I used to see this, or I did this. So it's clear that these are Vesalius's own notes. And the handwriting is Vesalius, and the model of what he's doing has a parallel in another copy of a book owned by Vesalius. So there is no doubt whatsoever that these are the notes by Vesalius. The knowledge of these new notes is important for two reasons. The first is it tells us that Vesalius was constantly revising. He's almost obsessive in his revision. That's the first. And the second is we can actually see his working methods. You can see him drawing, you can see him writing, you can see him correcting, you can see him having second, third, fourth thoughts. You get back from the printed book to, if you like, Vesalius sitting at his desk working. And that's what we have for the very first time. Most of these corrections are improvements not to the anatomy but to the Latin. He's a stylist in Latin and he's wanting to have a better style. But there are corrections for the better. There's some new information. There is evidence of his reading, and there is evidence of him thinking about how to express something which you see as a three-dimensional form, a bone. What is a bone? How do you describe it? What does it feel like? And you can see him changing his mind to express clearly what it's like to look at a body. Where is a bone? Where is this nerve? Where is it? He has this visual image of the body, which is unusual even among anatomists.